G'day fellow prospectors, Twapster here. So the new GPX 8000 is out. The best gold detector on the planet has finally arrived. The king has been toppled. So go sell your old machines, chuck them in the bin, buy the 8000 and never look back. Alright, I'm going to say something that might upset a few people. The GPX 8000 might not be the upgrade everyone thinks it is. And in some situations, old machines are still beating it. Now, for those of you who don't know me, I've been chasing gold for over a decade now. Not an expert, just a detector user. But I've been lucky enough to run machines side by side in the field. We're talking the GPX 4500, the GPX 6000, the GPZ 7000 and the SDC 2300. Basically the Gold Star minelab lineup. I live in Kalgoorlie, right on the doorstep of the WA goldfields. So getting onto gold country is the easy part for me. The real question is which detector to use, which one finds the most gold, which one punches the deepest, and that's the hard question everyone wants answered. These days, most of the time I detect in a three-man crew. We run 3 different machines, and when someone gets a signal, we all test it. Same target, different detectors. That's where you learn what's real and what's bullshit. Here's one that stuck with me. I mentioned in my last video, I was running the GPX 4500 with a 25-inch mono coil, got a clear, repeatable signal. John walks over with the GPX 6000, nothing, dead silent. I scrape a bit more, then suddenly, the 6 hears it. End result was a 3-gram nugget. That's not theory, that's real-world testing, and it tells you something important. The 6 is a great machine, but it's not a depth monster. It punches about the same as a 45 with a standard coil setup, but it also hears the smaller stuff that 45 would usually miss, the stuff the SDC is known for. So the 6 is like an average 45 for depth with the SDC sensitivity. And we're seeing more real testing of this now. The Poseidon boys recently showed a 1-ounce nugget, about 14 inches, down on the 6000, nothing. Old machines, bigger coil, still hitting it. That should make you think. Now here's where I'm going to ruffle some feathers. You see people online saying, I hit a 1-grammer nugget at 14 inches with the 6, and I think, no you didn't. I'm not saying they're lying, but something's off. Because here's the reality. If a detector struggles to hit a 1-ounce piece at that depth, there's no way it's comfortably hitting a 1-grammer there. It doesn't stack up. So what's actually happening? Simple. A mix of big coils, bad pinpointing, digging big holes. You dig a crater, the nugget falls down the side, ends up at the bottom, and suddenly, wow, that was at 2 feet. No, it wasn't. It probably started at 5 inches, there or thereabouts. On a video, looks legit. Deep hole, nugget from the bottom, everyone's impressed. But what you're really seeing is poor pinpointing, not insane depth. It's like fishing stories. The fish gets bigger every time you tell it. Your mate knows the truth, but he stays quiet. So let's talk reality. WA ground is brutal. Hot ground, ironstone, EMI, electrical interference. Depth testing detectors is difficult. You can't test detectors in your backyard. I've got power lines 80 metres from my place. Most detectors unusable. You need to be out bush. Anything else, rookie thinking. But this is where the older setups can shine. You double D coils running normal mode are pretty stable near power lines. They're usable. Might not win on paper, but usable finds gold. Let's talk noise. This is a big one for me. I hate noisy detectors. I can handle a threshold hum, but a constant warble, chattery detector drives me nuts. Because here's what happens. you start ignoring the chatter and the faint real signal. You walk straight past it. That's why I like machines like the 45, the 5000, even the 7. They can run smooth. And when they speak, you listen. The machine says, yoo-hoo, yoo-hoo. That's gold. If a machine's making noise just, walking around, you switch off. Anyway, double Ds versus mono. Mono's more depth, but you usually have to run in enhance, which kills sensitivity. Here's a trick. You get a faint signal in enhance, switch to normal on the 45 before digging. The target's going to scream. That's how much sensitivity you're losing running in enhance. But you have to run in enhance. Try running in normal with a mono. The ground noise, the machine goes nuts. This is where a double D wins. You can run normal, you get stability, you get less noise, better usable depth. That's why the 25-inch double D on the 5000 still a weapon. And in some tests, it's beating newer machines. Let that sink in. If I talk about the 45 or the 5000, just know I'm pretty much talking about the same machine in that context. They're interchangeable. Now, big coils, here's the truth. You don't run a 25-inch all day. It sits in the car. You bring it out when you've found a patch. You've pulled gold, and now you're chasing deeper pieces. But there's a trade-off. Big coils miss small gold, and small gold is your bread and butter. For every big nugget, there's 50 small ones. So why ignore 50 targets chasing one that might not even be there? That's why small coils find patches. Big coils clean them up. But there's no 25-inch coil available for the 6000. So now let's talk GPX 8000. This is where it gets interesting. With the 3 coil pack, it's basically 3 detectors in one. 13-inch, like the 6000. 17-inch, like the 7000. 18-inch, chasing deeper ground. That's the real strength. But right now, we don't have all those coils out in the wild yet. So it's too early to call it the ultimate machine. And I'm wondering, I'm watching closely. Guys like Shane from Westall's Adventures, Andy up on the Palmer, Jonathan Porter. These are the blokes who'll tell us the truth because they depend on gold to live. Now, here's my honest take. If you don't own a detector, buy the 8000, no question, but get the full coil setup. If you already own a 45, a 5000, 6000 or a 7000, it's a harder decision because those machines still work, still find gold, and in some cases still outperform newer tech. The 8000 is probably the best all-rounder we've ever seen, but that doesn't mean it replaces everything. Sometimes a specialist setup still wins. The 45,000 with a big coil, still deadly. The 6,000 for daily work, hard to beat. So don't rush to ditch your gear because in the right conditions, it's still very, very capable. And just quickly, I've got a full GPX 45 settings video coming soon. Exactly how I run in WA ground. No fluff, no hype, just what works. If you're into real world detecting, do me a favor, hit the like and subscribe. That tells me you actually want to hear more of this stuff. Anyway, catch you later. Twaps are out.